Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of the Greater Boston Gala Girls. This is our first guest.
Yay!
Yay! Please welcome Nick, who lives in a shoebox. A very small, very beautiful apartment in Boston.
Yeah.
And he's invited us to host his
housewarming party. Yes. And the fact that Nick has finally gotten the address to which he should be accustomed is an absolute wonder, and we're so happy for him. It's worthy of a party. So, but Nick, tell us a little bit about the space and the size of your apartment.
It's probably about the size of this island right here, but you know, it's location. So,
location, totally.
Yeah.
Downtown Boston,
Yep.
Excellent location. We won't reveal it because we don't want stalkers for Nick.
or party crashers.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, depends. Yeah, depends. If you're a fan, see us on Facebook later. Anyways, so Jocelyn's going to kick us off with the cocktail that will be the signature cocktail for Nick's party.
Nick is going to have a housewarming party, and how many people are you having?
Probably about 10 people.
Okay, so we decided that we would make a signature cocktail for Nick, which we have called the Nick of Time. Thank you. And it's a variation on your basic Cape Codder. You start out with vodka, which we like a lot of.
Yeah.
So we'll give a nice healthy pour.
High quality vodka. Mm-hmm. You don't want your guests hurting the next day.
Or you serve the junky stuff later in the night when they can't see.
Yeah.
And then you go with a nice splash of pomegranate. Now, the pomegranate is the exciting new mix here, because new studies are showing how good it is for you. It's got lots of vitamin A, vitamin C, folic acid. Apparently this can help you fight off heart disease and get you drunk. So we're going to do a quick splash of that. And then we're going to mix the white grapefruit juice, which is sort of like the Greyhound. And then, just to make it kind of fancy like Nick, we're throwing in pomegranate ice cubes. Just fill the tray up with pomegranate juice and freeze. And it adds a nice little extra bit of color. And as they melt, you're going to get that extra zing as well.
And color.
Mm-hmm. See? Very nice.
I say cheers to Nick and his new apartment.
Cheers.
Mmm. Delish.
It's very good.
Yeah, very
Excellent.
good. You don't have white couches, do you?
Oh, I do, but whatever, it's fine. It's a housewarming.
Exactly. It's not a party till something gets broken.
Absolutely.
Okay, so every good party needs some appetizers, don't you think, people?
Definitely.
Okay, so this appetizer, we're just calling it tortilla dip, originated from when I lived in a very small shoebox apartment in New York City. And I actually lived with another person, and it was so small we had one of the pony fridges, which always had alcohol in it, but that was a whole different story. So for a different show,
Right.
frankly. But anyway, so there was this one dip that we made, and basically it's one of those great dips where you can add whatever you have in the pantry or the fridge or whatever, and it always tastes delicious. Not a lot of measuring, not a lot of rhyme or reason, just kind of go with what you're feeling. And we were actually known on several occasions to eat this for a meal.
It looks like it could be a meal.
Yeah.
I think that's very sweet of you, and I love you for that. So it's really not a meal. I mean, unless you're 28 years old.
Anything can be a meal if you eat it.
Exactly. So, without further ado, the Mexican tortilla dip. So basically, pretty easy. We start off with your canned items. We're going to go with a can of black beans that are thoroughly rinsed. If you can dump those in for me, Nick. Make sure you really rinse them. I realize that takes out some of the proteins and whatever, but it also takes out the gook. Yeah.
Black beans come up.
Canned corn, a lot of gook, yeah. Canned corn. And again, if you don't like any of these things, feel free to take them out, substitute anything else. Put kidney beans, instead of black beans, whatever. Then we go with some freshly chopped tomato.
Right.
Do you like how I make Nick do all the work? We're supposedly hosting this for him, and
No, it's good. I haven't done this anyways.
Oh, aren't you good? Sliced up an avocado, fresh avocado. There you go. And our next one is chicken. What I did, you can cook chicken any way you want. You can even buy the pre-cooked chicken. It's completely up to you. I did a breast of chicken. You can grill it. I actually roasted it in the oven at 350 for like 35 minutes, not even that long. And then after I chopped it up, I sprinkled a little lime on it for a little Mexican flavor. Nick, you're doing an amazing job. Amazing. You're going to be an incredible, incredible host. Next, some cilantro. Actually, little tip. Learned this from Martha Stewart, so I can't take credit, but keep your cilantro or your fresh herbs kind of like in a little vase in your fridge, and they stay fresh longer. But I chopped this up. I know, it's great, right? And it looks cute in your fridge. It's like your fridge has a flower arrangement.
Oh.
Yeah, very nice. Cilantro in there. I chopped up some red onion, and what I did was, another little trick, anytime you're using onion and you feel that it might be a little too powerful or too acidic, what you can do is add a tiny bit of vinegar. So for example, a red onion normally works well with a little bit of cider vinegar, and you just let it sit in the vinegar for a minute or so, and it takes some of the bite out of the onion. So I often do that when I'm doing some sort of like a potato salad or something like that. In this case, we're using red onions, and we soak them in a little bit of balsamic vinegar, because the balsamic is what we're using to make the dressing. This part I will handle, Nick, because
Okay,
this
good.
could get rocky.
Okay.
Now, what we've done is, as I said, I added the balsamic to the onions. We let them sit for, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. And then I brought over a little mayo. I realize that some people feel as if mayonnaise is the devil's work.
I think mayonnaise is from heaven.
I couldn't agree more. I think it was sent from angels above.
Little clouds. What, I mean, come on.
It's phenomenal. I would eat it at every meal if I could. I also prefer to use Hellmann's just because it's my own personal bias. And I actually, if you note, had to bring my own mayonnaise here to Studio 27 because my sister tends to go with fat-free or light, which I feel is the devil's work.
This is the real deal.
It's the real deal.
Real deal. And I agree, Hellmann's.
Thank you.
Must be Hellmann's.
And if you're going to make, seriously, if you are going to make some sort of an appetizer, especially if there's cooking involved, like heat with a mayonnaise, some of those mayonnaises that are fat-free or low-fat or whatever can separate under the pressure of the heat. You want to go with the real stuff. That's why they call it real food, people. That's why. Okay, so this looks disgusting. I realize that. It's a gross brown color, but when you mix it with the loveliness and beautiful colors that you have in here, it blends right in and you don't really see it too much. So we do a quick toss, and if you're concerned about the way it looks and presentation-wise, you can go a little bit lighter on the dressing. It really, you don't need too much, but these colors are so pretty that they actually pop beyond the little bit of balsamic. And if you're also really concerned about presentation, you can put it in a brand new clean bowl so that it doesn't look all messed up. It's
more
cool.
authentic,
It
you
is
know?
more
It tastes
authentic.
better.
Exactly. It's made from love, you can tell.
I
It's not
can.
store-bought. Okay, so now it's the moment of truth, and you obviously serve it with the tortilla chips. So I'm going to let these two who've not had it yet taste it and tell me if you think you could eat it for dinner, lunch, or breakfast.
Probably. Very good.
Yep.
Oh,
It's really good.
Yeah, and the next morning, let's say
Even
the party
better.
goes late, next morning, delish. It makes a great breakfast as well.
Well,
Yeah.
that being said, can this be made ahead of time? Is it better the next day, like some things, or not really?
I think that because you toss it and it's so fresh, and you've got avocado in there which can brown up a little
Good
bit.
point. Good
So you want to make sure that you do it right at the last second. And seriously,
And it
you
took,
guys,
what,
it took
a
2
minute and a half?
seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's easy.
it's basically like making tuna fish.
You know me, I'm like,
Again,
give it a short
mayonnaise-based product, but there you go. So there you go. There's our little tortilla dip.
awesome.
Feel free to add or subtract whatever you'd like, and serve it at your next party or brunch or late night dinner.